right. Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of the Magic of Yoga podcast. My name is Anna Brown, and I am so excited to be sharing my journey with you. And hopefully, in return, you will be sharing your journey with me. I just want to take a moment right now to thank you for tuning in and listening. I want to thank you for supporting me, those of you who have known me for my entire life, and for those of you who are just now getting to know me. So, with that being said, I want to take a couple of moments at the beginning of this podcast to very briefly introduce myself and to introduce the podcast and the various topics that we will discuss before diving right into today's episode. So, a little bit about me. My name is Anna Brown. I'm nicknamed Earth Goddess Anna by my fellow yogis. I was born in Scotland and I moved to America about 8 years ago. I first discovered yoga in 2014 after my first pregnancy and decided later on to dive deeper into the history and philosophy and the breath work and meditation, all the whole package. And that's when I decided to take my yoga teacher training with Yoga for Love, based in Texas. I graduated my teacher training in May of 2019. I also had the honor of completing both my Reiki 1 and 2, and I'm happy to announce that I will be doing my Reiki Masters in November of this year. So that is super excited. That'll be through Yoga for Love again at the Yoga for Love Inner Goddess Retreat. So if you don't know anything about that, I highly recommend typing in Google Yoga for Love Inner Goddess Retreat and checking out all the information on this beautiful weekend retreat filled with other sisters that are all going through their own transformational journey, and that we just really support and become a great community together. And this is the one time where we go through cleansing eating and sound baths and meditation on such a deep level, and affirmation works. So it's a really a fun packed weekend, and of course Reiki. It's a beautiful experience. So definitely go check out Yoga for Love Inner Goddess Retreat. I obviously have so much love for yoga, that is obvious, but coming from a Celtic background, I'm very deep into the history and tradition of that side. And when I began my teacher training, it was like this huge major shift had happened for me. I was really able to dive deep in and find myself, because as I was growing up, I kind of dabbled and dabbled, and I explored different religions, and I explored, you know, paganism on all certain levels, and I explored Catholicism and Christianity and just all these different areas, but never really wasn't really sure where it all fit in. And I feel like a big part of that was guidance, and not finding my niche, my group of people. And I had this stronger connection to my Celtic Druid side, but again, no guidance on that level. So I stepped away from it and I just went about life, and I just kept on going, and everything was great. But like I said, when I began my teacher training, a major shift had happened for me, and I was able to find this connection and balance between both sides. And then with that, I was able to reconnect with crystals and energy work and rituals and all that wonderful stuff through the Celtic and the Celtic background. And then I was able to connect and ground myself and manifest on my mat just by being present, and the practices of breath work. So like I said, it was just a way that I was able to create who I am and who I wanted to be. And I was something by merging two things together rather than just following one area of life. So it's really been quite a learning curve for me. I decided that I wanted to do this podcast because I'm very um, I'm very passionate about this, and I wanted to have a more personal way that I could connect with everybody out there, and I wanted them to be able to feel that they could connect to me, even if it's just by email or a message on Facebook. But I feel like if you can hear my voice, then the message is understood better. Things get lost in translation when they are always written down. So, moving on a little, this podcast, I will host various episodes. We will discuss a variety of things, such as magic from the basics to yoga, history, and philosophy. This will include chakras, affirmations, and so much more. We will share ritual ideas, practices, meditations, mini flows, cleansings, you name it, I'm going to cover it. We will also discuss the energy of the universe. We will create time. We will to prepare and harness the universal energy. I am going to have special guests joining us from time to time to share the thoughts and ideas on these beautiful topics. They may come on with a whole new topic idea that I haven't listed here. So with that, I want to take a moment to invite you to follow me on Instagram at Earth Goddess Anna, or follow on Facebook at Yoga with Earth Goddess Anna. Here you can ask me questions, share topic ideas. Maybe there's a guest that you would like to request to join us. And from that, I will dedicate a day that I answer your questions and reply to your comments on a podcast just for you lovely people out there. So moving on to our first episode. It's so exciting. I really am super excited. And I decided to do our first episode on the full moon. With October's Aries full moon fast approaching, I figured it was the perfect time. So the full moon is also, this full moon is also known as the harvest moon, hunter's moon, and of course my favorite, the blood moon, because of her reddish hint of color that's resembling the fiery Aries power. It's pretty amazing, right? It's a major time and shift and reflect. And what I really want from you guys this month, though, is to take time to reflect on what has happened. I want you to take time to reset, restore, and reclaim. So reflect, reset, restore, and reclaim. So I'm going to break down this podcast into a couple of different sets. So let's start with reset, okay? Things to think about during this time are cleansing your crystals. If you work with them, they have been working all month just as hard as you have been. So they keep your negative energy at bay. They release positive energy, especially if you're someone who works in Reiki or other crystal healing. Like you want to love them. You want to take care of them just as you would take care of you. So you can do this by placing them out underneath the full moon. Try and find a spot that is exposed to the shine of the moon, but regardless, it's going to get its energy. Allow them to stay there overnight and exchange the energy with the universe. So they're going to be releasing all of that negative energy, and they're going to be accepting all of this positive energy in return, resetting and restoring. Another way is to place your crystals into a bowl of salt water and then leave them under the full moon all night. And this allows the salt water to cleanse and purify. You could use natural sea salt water if you were able to get your hands on that, or you can use bath salts, any kind of one that you desire. if you work with mala beads, especially if you're a yogi, as you are constantly holding them and working with them, there's an exchange of energy. If you have let somebody touch or borrow them, then that is an exchange of energy. So be sure to lay them out just the same as you would with crystals so that they can also exchange the energy. And you know what? When I think about it, talismans and any other sacred items that you work with in your energy field, now is the perfect time to cleanse it. So put them out on your deck, put them out in your yard, just put them out there where they can really soak up this full moon energy and cleanse and feel new and become positive and ready to guide you again for the rest of the month. Another idea is burning ceremonies, which are always very cleansing. It doesn't have to be a huge fire. It could even be a candle, but please be sure to be safe. I don't want anyone burning houses down or setting woods afire. Like, be cautious, please, please, please. But a burning ceremony is also a beautiful way to let go. So you could take the time to write down all that you wish to let go of from the past month, or maybe an intention that you want to release into the universe. And then as the paper burns and it floats out into the universe, really feel that in your body. Like, how is that making you feel? Is this weight being lifted? Is this gratitude arriving? You know, depending on what you're writing, your body is going to react, but you have to let it. You have to be willing, you have to be open-minded about it. So, moving on, we'll go to restoring. So here are a few restoring ideas that I have for you. Your personal self-care. So my favorite is having a full moon lustral bath. It's very, very simple. It's a salt bath with essential oils that coincide with the full moon. You could use essential oils such as sandalwood or jasmine, but for the October, try bergamot essential oil. With crystals, if you have crystals that have not used their energy from the previous month and therefore don't necessarily need to be charged, you could place crystals around your bathtub. A perfect crystal or crystals would be amethyst that have not been used, and they hold a positive energy placement around you and your area, and they create this spiritual barrier, allowing you to gain mental clarity, relaxing the mind, the body, and the soul. Again, going back to Salty Sea, if you live by the beautiful Salty Sea, you may take your bath outside. And no, please don't get in trouble by the law. Like, if you are not at a nude approved beach, let's keep it discreet, all right? But if you can take a swim in the ocean, allow the natural water element of the earth to cleanse and restore you. Just really take a deep breath, dive in there, come out, feel new, feel restored, and just be ready to reclaim what is coming next. You could take a moment to stand and really bask under the moonlight as she controls the lustral waves crashing around you. And then when you are done, take a moment to grab some essential oil that you have chosen and place it on your skin and close the ritual by being thankful for Mother Nature. If there is one way to feel great again, it is definitely to commune and be thankful for Mother Earth. Like, just taking 5 minutes to be out there and deep breaths and just really relaxing, it's definitely cleansing. I have to say that's just such a lacklustering word for what I'm trying to say, but you know, communing with nature, it really makes you think about where you're coming from. So the next one I want to discuss is reclaiming. So like I said, now is the perfect time for you to reflect on this past month and note all that has happened to you. How you're feeling, your energy, are you grateful, sad? Just really let it all go. Don't hold anything back. And then I want you to be ready to reclaim it. Like, you have had this terrible month, or you have had this fantastic month, and you're ready to get going. Like, march into this new month with the ram's horns fully mounted. Do not wait for somebody to say go. Do not wait for something to just simply fall into your lap. It is time for you to get ready and take charge. Set your intention for the upcoming month, whether it is being more balanced, love, harmony, abundance, freedom. Just go forth and willingly take it. It is there if you just take it. Why not during the next yoga practice, if you can, take it outside, okay? Like I said, being under the full moon with the rays and Mother Earth, it is a powerful, powerful moment. And since we are reclaiming our month, we are grabbing the ram's horns, we are taking it. Take your practice outside. If that is not possible, try and find a window viewing of the moon. Maybe open a window during your practice. Just any way that you can try and really get the full embrace of it. And then I want you to try and incorporate some of these powerful poses that are going to get your energy flowing, such as the warrior variations, goddess pose, low lunge with goddess arms, really opening the heart, sending your message out, and even side plank. I'm going to backtrack there for a moment with the low lunge with goddess arms. It is also very popularly known as cactus arms, but I mean, goddess. I mean, come on, power, goddess, let's do it, right? So, with that being said, let's not get carried away. So here I am talking about resetting, restoring, and the reclaiming, okay? But don't get carried away. All of this stuff can be done physically, but mentally, there needs to be some self-care there too. So let's take a moment to check in with ourselves and work on meditation and mantras to help gain clarity and focus on what our new intentions are for the month, or maybe we're continuing on our intentions for the month. And this is where candle magic can be really incorporated and a great tool for your practice. With candle magic, it can be a great visualization tool. Send off some powerful energetic vibrations during your practice. So the moon is represented by the color silver. And if you can get a silver candle lit during your meditation, again, energetic, visual purposes, and then you can focus on your clairvoyance, goddess power, feminine energy, and continuous cycles. So that is just the moon. You're just connecting with the moon. But going back to that, we are in October. Let's look at some colors that represent our Aries moon. For example, the dark blue is one color, and this is a great color for connecting with the third eye, physical properties, and wisdom. And then there is purple, which is connecting with the divine spirit, the universal energy, magical influence, and our connection with others, healing and guiding them. So if you're, again, a Reiki practitioner, crystal worker, or any kind of healing, this would be maybe something that you would like to work with. Black, which is commonly mistaken as a negative resource. It's actually a very powerful or absorption of negative energy. It is very commonly used in protection, grounding, and banishing. So it's definitely something to think about when you are working in your practice this month, setting your intention. Maybe you want to choose from one of those colors and light yourself a candle. A very powerful practice with candles that I've learned from my instructor and teacher and mentor, I mean, everything under the sun, Lisa Ware, was to simply light a candle and stare at it and set your intention. So with that, I have been able to grow my practice again using colors to work with the specific intention or the magical universal energies that are surrounding me at the moment. So I would, in this case, I might light a purple candle and I would sit and I would focus and I would stare and I would begin my meditation. Maybe I would begin my mantra. Maybe I then would close my eyes, constantly having the visual of the candle behind my eyelids, and I can just work from there and release whatever it is I'm trying to release. So you can release whatever you are trying to release and embrace what it is that you are trying to embrace. I would like to share that even right now, as I'm saying this all to you, I have a purple candle lit. And where my practice is not directly guided to that, I am allowing it to connect me to the divine spirit right now, to the messages the universe has to say to me, and to let everything that I'm saying to you just kind of flow. So, really give it a try and send me a message. Let me know how it goes for you, what worked for you. If you have any questions or comments, I want to know, because I will share and I will reply back. Like I said, I will designate a day where I will respond to all your comments and questions in a podcast just for you guys. So with that, I'm going to end our first episode. Thank you again so much for joining me, and I hope to see you next time. Namaste.